Watson, can I ask Ferrari or Lambo?
Kia.
I agree. I always thought it was Kia. It's my first love as well. Hey, you're watching Driver 88. Today I'm going to tell you about a really awesome experience I had not long ago, flying from Melbourne all the way to London, UK, to check out the CarWow HQ, spend a good half an hour with their CEO, and collectively spend a good few hours with the host, Matt Watson of CarWow. So it really was an amazing experience. For those of you who don't know, CarWow is the largest car review channel on YouTube. It's been around for a number of years. And across its Spanish and German channels as well, something like 4 million or so people watch CarWow every single day. That, however, is just part of its business. It is a website and an app that gives services to people wanting to buy and sell their cars, as well as offering services to dealerships and brands. And so I'm going to talk about, I guess, my shareholding experience, because back in 2019, I bought £5,000 worth, which is like almost $7,000 USD worth of shares in CarWow in a capital raising. And I did it more so just because I love the channel and I love the business, and it was more just of an experience, not like hoping to make, a huge amount of money out of this. Basically, that business, after a rough couple of years, for obvious reasons, they turned over £20 million in revenue in 2019, and today, for the calendar year of 2024, they're estimated to turn over 108 million USD, or 85 million pounds. So that probably sounds like quite a large number to you, because it's not just a YouTube channel. You might also be interested to know that out of all those YouTube channels, they turn over 3 million pounds. So that's something like 3.8 million USD from all their YouTube revenue or money that they make out of YouTube, which sounds like a lot of money, but I found out that they have 30 full-time people working on their content team, so it sort of works out. But essentially they use this massive marketing exercise and huge amount of viewerships to, of course, redirect people to their apps and stuff like that. And that was where I was able to get the opportunity to go to the CarWow HQ and have a Q&A, as well as look at a big presentation. So if you're a car fan like me, a car enthusiast like me, you're probably also a big fan of Auto Express and Evo, two pretty iconic brands in this space. Well, CarWow just bought them. So they bought this company called Autovia, and that means that they bought a whole list of different brands and magazines. And going forward, they're going to be, I guess, owning them, and directing them into a new future. So that was also part of this presentation. So let's go to the CEO presentation. We're gonna have a Q&A with Matt from CarWow, and then also just, I guess, I'll give you a little bit of an insight into what Matt is like, I guess, as a person on that night. And yeah, I'm just super hyped because it was so awesome to spend a good few hours just chatting normally with another car enthusiast that just happens to be so famous. So yeah, please enjoy. Let's fly to London.
Cars onto the platform so our consumers have more choice. We want to strengthen our content machine. I'm going to talk about Autovia for 1 minute to our portfolio. So back in February we acquired Autovia. This gives us and our goal is to get to nicely north of 100 million next year, which creates a very meaningful.
Reached this huge milestone, 9 million subscribers. We started working on the channel in 2016, and here we are, 2024, 9 million subscribers, going for 10 million. So we'll then have a Japanese channel, a Latin American channel, a Brazilian channel, so on and so forth. And when you include our German market and our Spanish market, in total we did 1.1 billion views. About 700 million of views of those were on the UK channel itself. My favourite car is one that I own, it's the GT3 RS. So I love the engine, that naturally aspirated 4 litre flat six, just sounds amazing, and the car, the way it feels when you drive it, it's incredible, and I think it looks awesome as well.
don't know if that's a cheat. You can't have one that you just own.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it is that. I mean, I've driven loads and loads of cars, and different ones like amaze me for different reasons. Right from budget little super minis all the way up to kind of crazy hypercars. Things like the McMurtry Spearling, which is the fastest accelerating thing I think I've ever been in or on. It's completely nuts. I don't know if any of you saw that. I did 0 to 60 in like 1.6 seconds. It's just utterly insane. It pulled 2G on accelerating, which is about what a top-end Porsche, the GT3 RS, can do under braking, and that is nuts.
Yeah, that's a much better answer. Try it.
Okay.
Go again. Okay, the worst car you've ever driven.
Okay, so right. So, now in the past, cars used to be bad for the way they drove, and an example of that was, I think it was like mid-noughties. Mitsubishi imported something called the Mirage, little super mini, competitor to the Ford Fiesta, but it was so badly made and so badly set up, it was hideous to drive. You basically had to keep on steering it to keep it going straight. It was utterly terrible. And one of the things that it wouldn't do, which is something that we all kind of take for granted, is if you steer a car and you kind of let go of the steering wheel, it'll self-center, because cars have something called caster, which causes the wheel to go straight. This didn't have any caster on it, so you turn the wheel and it wouldn't self-center, so you have to keep steering it back. It was almost like, well, it's not going to be James May, he won't.
Clarkson.
Probably Clarkson. But if I could have anyone, because it's YouTube, I would have Mr. Beast on. Just for the views. Yeah, I would definitely have Mr. Beast on. They've invested heavily in electric cars. Their government was able to say to them, you're doing this now, make it happen. And they've done a really good job of creating credible products, and in some ways they are ahead of their European competitors. A good example, I think someone I spoke to earlier has got an MG4, brilliant car, really, really good car, great to drive. When I drove that, I backed it with a VW ID3. Now the ID3 is more expensive, and you might say, well, you know, get the MG because it's less expensive and it's pretty much as good. It's better than the Volkswagen. No matter what the price is, it's a better car. Especially, I was talking about the user interface. Had was a mini Metro, but I managed to, luckily, wrote it off within about 2 months. And then I got to drive
my eldest brother did much better.
So that was it, guys. Just quickly, my thoughts on Matt Watson as a person. Of course, I don't know him personally, but I cannot believe that after, I guess, a presentation and a Q&A, he was happy to just hang out with us and was interested, and probably one of the most affable and easy to talk to people I've ever met. There are people that would sell their own mother to have millions of people watch them every day and wouldn't look at you twice if you're on fire. And Matt is definitely quite the opposite of that. So just awesome to hang out. We're even talking about stocks and all sorts of things of my own interests as well, which was really, really cool. Speaking of that, will I make any money from this CarWow shareholding? Probably not. I don't care too much because these experiences are really awesome. But the CEO said that in coming years, maybe 3 or 4 years, when they aim to maybe reach revenue of £300 million, they'll look to IPO. So for my own personal sense, I've been an active trader for 10 years and I've stopped the last couple of years, but that will basically be the potential payday of if CarWow basically puts itself as a publicly listed company on the share market. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but at least I got to give you a little bit of insight as to the CarWow HQ, the CEO, what they're doing and the brands that they've bought, and also just that Matt Watson, he is pretty much exactly as he is on camera, just as like friendly and awesome. He's exactly the same. So hope you enjoyed watching. This is Driver 88. I'll see you next time.